We've all heard the saying, you're going to be like the top 5 people you surround yourself with. Having talked about the very serious problem of lukewarm Christianity last week, we dove into the dangers of the influence certain types of friends can have on your life. This week, we're going to relate that back to how unity and companionship with other Christians is absolutely vital to your development as a believer. So let me ask you a question. As a Christian, do you feel like it's important to surround yourself with people who share similar values to yourself? If you would have asked me a year ago, I would have said no. I would have said it's important to have Christian influence in your life, but non-negotiable? That sounds a little extreme. Let's start with a story. A couple months ago, I decided to volunteer for a Bible school getaway with my old church called Thrive. I signed up not really sure what I was getting myself into. I know I would be leading middle school and high school kids, but beyond that was about it. When I got to the church, I could immediately feel the energy with all the kids. We were all on different teams signified by different colors. Flags, headbands, shirts, spray paint. I could already tell this was going to be a weekend to remember. I got on the bus, and that was that. We departed for the church camp, and the journey began. Little did I know it was about to revolutionize my life. It all started with a conversation I had with a good friend of mine named Salim. I'd seen Salim 1,000 times at my church before, but I had never spoken a word to him. Over the course of the bus ride, we started talking about Christianity, and I'd never felt so engaged in a conversation in my life. The 2-hour bus ride flew by, and before we knew it, we were there. Over the course of this camp getaway, I saw and experienced something I never had before. True Christian companionship. I was at a church event, surrounded by people I'd known for over 5 years, and I never even thought to talk or get to know them until now. Conversation after conversation turned to friendship after friendship. Before I knew it, I had made more friends in 2 days than I had in 6 months. So what are you getting at here, you might be thinking? What I'm trying to get at is I had never been surrounded by this much Christian influence in my life. I felt invincible. You see, when you tend to surround yourself with people who don't share similar values to you, you tend to clash swords with them. A lot. It's a constant battle of why can't you just see things through the same lens that I do? This is the reality for many Christians who get judged for their beliefs. This is something I dealt with what seemed like a daily basis. It was a constant struggle where I just wanted to raise the white flag. That was when I realized it. All the stress, all the headache, it had all melted away like hot butter. For the first time in a long time, I felt like I could truly be myself. I could truly talk about Christianity with others. Something that had been so absent in my life. As the incredible weekend at the camp winded down, everything felt different. Like things could just not go back to the way that they were. I'd experienced companionship with young and old Christians like no other. The church that once seemed so stoic now flourished with life. On the car ride back to my house, I knew there needed to be a change in my life. Something was missing. Something needed attention that I hadn't been giving any. What did I do? I got in touch with all the Christian influence I'd been failing to take advantage of my entire life. I did not go to people my age either. I'd come to find it was rather difficult to find real positive Christian influence in my age group. I went straight to the people who took it seriously. Parents, grandparents, adults in the church, old life group leaders, the list continues. I thought for so long this Christian companionship that I wished for didn't exist, but that is anything but the truth. It definitely existed. I was just looking in all the wrong places. I was trying to fight a battle that was not meant to be fought alone. We were not designed to try and take on the world by ourselves when we have legions of believers to fall back on. That is really the core of what we're trying to understand today. The power of Christian unity and all the good it can do for the kingdom. One of Satan's most lethal tools is to make us feel like we are alone in this fight, like we have no one to fall back on or no one to rally to. Look at all the different denominations that exist in Christianity today. Evil does everything in its power to amplify this separation because it knows how strong Christian companionship truly is. 1 Corinthians 1:10. I appeal to you, brothers, by the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, that all of you agree that there be no divisions among you, but that you be united in the same mind and the same judgment. Pastor Bob Russell played a game with his church during one of his sermons that really stuck with me. It went like this. He listed a couple popular Christian denominations, and everybody who came from that background, they would reiterate the name after him. This went on for Baptist, Catholics, Mormons, Methodist, you name it. After he went over all the denominations, he asked everybody on the count of 3 to say what their denominational background was. When he got to 3, there was a mess of words that was completely inaudible, and he immediately said, "Now isn't that just an ugly sound?" Then he said, "On the count of 3, I want everybody to say Jesus." And when he got to 3, there was the beautifully oriented sound of unity. Now you might be wondering, why am I bringing all this up? I thought this episode was about Christian community and why it's important to have Christian influence in your life. Yes, this episode is about that. But above all other things, I wanted to stress the importance of Christian unity. Christian unity with other believers and Christian unity in the church. To finish my story from earlier, when I reached out to all of these people in my life, I was greeted with nothing but acceptance and love. Soon enough, I had more Christian influence in my life than I knew what to do with. Phone calls, text messages, FaceTimes, I felt so connected with other believers. The problems that came with feeling isolated just faded away. To this day, I still talk to all of these people on a daily basis and seek counsel, guidance, wisdom, and strength from them so I may continue going down this path as boldly as I can. I'm going to end this week's video with a challenge. I challenge you to search among your friends, peers, relatives, and co-workers to seek out the Christian companionship and unity you know will strengthen your faith. Little do you know, God might be directing them to seek the exact same thing. Thanks for tuning in.